I guess we're on. We are live streaming.
Good morning, Facebook friends. Welcome to the Institute for Spiritual Development, to our Sunday service. And thank you for joining us this morning. I am here. Welcome to the Institute for Spiritual Development, to our Sunday service. Hold on, you guys, we're having some tech issues. Just 1 minute. I am here. Diana, if you mute yourself. Hold on, you guys, we're having some tech issues. Just 1 minute. I am here.
Okay, that happens every time. Facebook is playing it immediately, but you have to have it open.
So we're still on, okay?
Yep, we're on fine. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for bearing with us. Lots of echoing, like a mockingbird. Anyway.
Heavenly chorus.
Heavenly chorus singing us home, right? Good morning. So let's do that again. Welcome to Institute for Spiritual Development, Oneonta. We are here for our Sunday service. I am here to welcome and introduce our lovely Reverend Diana Friedell, who will be doing the homily this morning. And her homily is called Into the Woods, Finding the Way. So I hand it over to Diana.
Thank you, Reverend Amanda. I'm Reverend Diana Friedell. I'm the pastor here and co-director in Oneonta, New York, along with my co-director, Reverend Story Ducey. And I'll just begin with my homily. We were delighted to have a few opportunities to travel this summer, and every exciting adventure starts with a map. How are we going to get there? And from the first whim to take a road trip or enter the woods, or to finding a clear path that others have taken safely before you, to hearing those magic words from your GPS, you have arrived. And one time on the way to New Hampshire, my husband and I had two different GPS systems going at once, one on my iPhone and one on the car navigation system, each voice cheerfully directing us to our final destination. And then my husband rejected both routes and chose his own right way because he knows and doesn't want to be told otherwise. And he said, that's okay for me to say that. He heard this homily, just so you know, I'm not making fun of it. He said, that's all right, you could say that. Today I'm going to talk about mapping, getting directions metaphorically in two ways. One, in terms of seeking directions when you are lost in life. And two, all the many different routes to attain transcendence, or that most holy of experiences, feeling your own connection as a spark of God, or as my boys prefer to address the creative source and substance of all existence, the universe. So part one, feeling lost. Sometimes on our life path, we hit a time when we feel that general dissatisfaction or malaise, and we feel overwhelmed and stressed. Something is, I know we've all been through it, something is agitating us to move, to find a direction. What's my purpose? That's a question I'm often asked as a psychic counselor. What's my purpose? Spirit often shows me a metaphorical image of the client's car of life stuck in the mud with the wheels spinning. And when we can raise our vibration enough to get the bigger picture point of view of the dilemma that has our wheels spinning, we begin to see that we are stuck because we haven't set our sights on a destination. Where do I want to be right now? And how do I get there from here? Often we go a long, long time just accepting our unhappy situation, wallowing in the mud, mistakenly thinking we have no power to change our circumstances. Ultimately, we see that we do have options and many possible routes to help ourselves out of the ditch. And we turn to our maps, our trusted GPS, to find a way out. Looking for that trusted, tried and true route to get back to our true self. Which tools does your guidance system direct you to? Repeating positive affirmations, Go for a walk in nature. Tune into a guided meditation. Tune into your favorite inspirational speaker, which I do quite often. YouTube makes it so easy to do that nowadays. Work in the garden. Call a friend. Call a counselor. Turn on your rescue playlist. A list of songs that always lifts you up when you're really down. All good tools that will get you moving in the right direction. I'm sure you all have some of your own. We just sometimes forget to use them when we're really down. Do you remember the first GPS systems, a Garmin or a Magellan? We put it in the car on the dashboard. And when we took a wrong turn, an extremely disappointed voice would pipe up with a disdainful sigh. Recalculating. When possible, make a legal U-turn, making you feel like your Garmin was rolling his eyes at your stupidity. and at the same time, making you very anxious about being, I'm on the wrong road in a strange city. What if there was no wrong route? Just a new way to proceed. The current day GPS system, if you've noticed, they've made some improvements. It doesn't shame you anymore when you make a mistake. It just silently starts rerouting without any judgment. Sometimes you don't even know that you went the wrong way. And from where you are right now, you can go this way. You are never off the path. There are no wrong paths. There is no shame or judgment involved in rerouting. Wouldn't that be great if that was the same in real life? Instead of feeling stuck in shame about a wrong turn from the past, we could start rerouting. Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What destination feels right to me? You're the one in charge of your destiny. You choose your route. And now on to part 2. Pay attention. This is about spiritual rerouting. Have you ever had an encounter with someone who was so confident of their one and only true route to God that they needed to tell you how wrong your path was and how lost you were? It's happened, right? Everybody's familiar with that. Here at ISD, the Institute for Spiritual Development, we believe there are many routes and differing maps to attaining spiritual enlightenment. One of our spiritual principles is we affirm the right of each individual to seek the truth in accordance with their consciousness, and that living in harmony with that truth defines true spirituality. So here at ISD, my destination on my spiritual path is the truth. I set my GPS to find the truth with a capital T and have permission to follow many different sets of directions. One might route me through Christianity. One would send me to a Hindu guru in India. One would send me to the Church of Latter-day Saints. Another would have me studying the rituals of Native American shamanism, or circling up with a women's group around a sacred fire in observance of the full moon, or lighting a candle in a sacred Catholic cathedral, or studying Jewish mysticism from the Kabbalah. You get the idea. Even being under the stars with our friends and compatriots, which we just did for one of our classes, one of our last classes. Each of us here has had our own unique route to what we perceive as our spiritual truths. But the funny thing is that we never really reach our destination. Another ISD principle is we believe that spiritual unfoldment is progressive and unending. Unending. We never really arrive. It's okay to not know. We are not so arrogant as to think that we have all the answers here. My personal map is not the same as yours. And it's okay with me if my truth is not your truth. But sometimes we are in search or in crisis, and we need help rerouting. And here at the Institute for Spiritual Development, or in short, ISD, you will resonate with many ways and tools offered to reroute when you've reached a bumpy spot on your life path. And if ISD is part of your personal guidance system, you'll find that friend or counselor you can call. You'll find trusted teachers and friends who guide you on the route to accessing and using your own intuitive or healing gifts, to interpret your dreams, to assist you on starting your own business, or to become an inspiring spiritual leader yourself. Once you know what your destination is, what your passion is, where you are going, you can go anywhere. You only need a map. Even at ISD, there are variable routes to get where you're going. It's also okay not to know where you're going. There are even classes about finding your life purpose. And coming up in October, different ways to pray. How do we address the divine? Even when you haven't chosen your destination, you are still on a journey, which you have to take. And there are no wrong turns, only rerouting. And I'd like to close with words from the finale of the Sondheim musical, Into the Woods. I played one of Cinderella's mean stepsisters in the Catskill Players production many years ago, with a crazy blonde wig. And I also directed a junior version of Into the Woods for Orpheus Theater Camp about 20 years ago, in which my son Evan, who's now a rock star, played the narrator, and my son Russ played the baker. And here's the lyrics from it. Not gonna sing. To be happy and forever, you must see your wish come true. Don't be careful, don't be clever. When you see your wish, pursue. It's a dangerous endeavor, but the only thing to do. Though it's fearful, though it's deep, though it's dark, and though you may lose your path, though you may encounter wolves, you mustn't stop, you mustn't swerve, you mustn't ponder, you have to act. When you know your wish, if you want your wish, you can have your wish. Now to get your wish, you go into the woods, where nothing's clear, where witches, ghosts, and wolves appear. Into the woods, and through the fear, you have to take the journey. Thank you.
Diana, thank you so much. That was so very beautiful. So timely. Okay. We will now close the Facebook portion of the service. If anybody wants to keep staying with us and enjoy the beautiful light that comes together when we come together, feel free to go to ISDOneonta.com, calendar of events, and .org, or the Facebook page, and you can click on the Zoom link to come into the Zoom room. And we have coming up our affirmation of service, where we also do messages, either group messages or for individuals as well, through Divine Source Connection. So have a great day, everybody. Have a great Sunday, and happy Labor Day weekend.